Hello,
Making
everyone.
more
Welcome
Pokemon
to
trainers in the
video
final
in
episode of the
Pokemon
Croneo region.
I
Link
wanted
to
to make a
description
video
below by
explaining why my
Dr.
character
Eevee.
designs are the way they are, since it would
Bit
have
of a
disrupted the flow of the
post-credits
previous
scene,
videos.
sort of, just
Before
like,
I
hey,
begin,
you know,
why
the
not subscribe to
behind-the-scenes
my
stuff.
channel,
You've
as
already
well
seen
as
the
like,
movie?
comment, and
Well,
share.
here's the
All of these
behind-the-scenes
help
stuff
out
here,
a lot.
just
So if
seeing,
you like
like,
what
how
you
this
see,
stuff was made.
why
Why
not do
not?
that? Ring the notification bell
This is
so
the
you
final
don't miss
episode.
any
Feels like
videos
the
as
climax would be the
Jamie
final
is
episode, but I'm
just a
fine with it. It's whatever.
Scottish-inspired Pokemon protagonist with customization options. The reason I made a unisex avatar where you can just pick the pronouns was
Because it's easier and pisses people on the internet off.
Like it wasn't strictly necessary for there to be multiple options. In the age of customization, there could just be a pronouns option too. And you can set your skin tone, hairstyle, eye color, and even clothing at the start of the game.
It is pretty fun just to like mix and match all the styles.
Say to me since I made the Agate Obsidian protagonists.
You can make potentially up to 16 combos.
On top of male and female is more inclusive than not, but it does turn a binary into a trinary, which is just not what being non-binary is. One option where you
so should we make us very special types solely for the non-binary? Wouldn't that just make them stick out a bit more instead of feeling involved and included?
Also a must, as some were confused why I was repping non-binary people but not black people, for example. Despite me trying to be as clear as possible that customization options were a thing, but this way people can be comfortable knowing that they are seen and they can play as something resembling themselves in a Pokemon game.
Except Asians. No, I'm kidding. It's a Japanese game. It wouldn't fit in otherwise.
As he is your grandpa, and therefore would have a similar skin tone to you.
Everything
he's wearing from head to toe is something Scottish boomers and older would wear. I mean, boomers is in the generation, just to clarify. Essentially,
well, I mean, Pokemon is a boomer game, typically speaking.
What would my dad wear? Hamish's cane was purely to balance the design based on his pose. I'm not opposed to having older characters not have a cane, by the way. It just felt necessary for this particular.
It does complete the
look.
The
name Hamish is a variant on James, much like the name Jamie is. I thought that name connection really cemented the familial tie. His team is interesting. He picks the starter weak to yours. This is because it felt wrong to me for your loving and supportive grandfather to pick the option, even if he was technically competing with you for the Pokemon League. I also decided to give him Jackaterra, Crossbury, and Hedgerow, as they are early route Pokemon. As I feel a lot
he just tried to go the entire game with them.
End up going for what you'd usually find on Route 1. Speaking of,
hey, you know, sometimes when playing a new Pokemon game, you just stick with the Route 1 mons the entire game. You know, they've been with you since the beginning, they'll be with you to the end.
Which I think is something we all need to hear. Anyways, he also has an Alakazam, since I felt like giving him a mon from Gen 1. The oldest generation, and the Aberline just felt like it fit the best.
Alakazam is still a solid Pokemon even today.
Now,
it's
this accidentally made an interesting narrative emerge. The starter and Crossbury are purely level up evolutions, so get the least fanfare with Hamish's storyline. But Hedgerow requires leveling up at night. Not difficult by any means, but could catch you off guard. Jackaterra needs the Dusk Stone, and stone evolutions
so there are all a bunch of different ways in order to evolve your Pokemon.
But you can still find the stone and use it. But Alakazam needs to be traded, which many people find a difficult task. So
and a pain in the butt. Although I hear Gen 9 or Legends EA also includes some like link cable thing that allows you to trade in-game, which is awesome.
Leading to a gag where Hamish is excited to see it evolve, even if those who know can't bear to tell him it doesn't.
Yeah. Hey, one day they might give Droplight an evolution, you never know for sure. But honestly, yeah, single stage of Pokemon are fine.
I know I've not posted many new fake.
It does kind of feel like it defeats the purpose of Pokemon, be like, well, what is the whole thing about is that they evolve and get better? Yeah, but some people just stay the same their entire lives. It's fine. Whatever. Not all species evolve. I mean, Relicanth is based off a thing that didn't evolve after all, so it'd be weird if it did evolve.
Real candidate. Think about it. Out of the non-villainous cast, who was the most scientist-coded? Maybe it was the paleontologist.
No, that's silly.
The character who did science in Croneo. Upgrading anyone
else make the scientist the scientist. Makes sense to me.
It would be a lot more interesting to upgrade someone rather than make a new character.
Yeah, it works out.
Of these characters. Now, I did consider making
Heather just because we can't use the frickin' evil team leader anymore.
To follow in her father's footsteps, which was a massive part of her character in Agate and Obsidian.
Oh, so they're gonna redesign. Shit, I didn't even recognize her. I was doing the look. I thought she was a new character. Oops.
Jasper is gender fluid, which means they don't have a solid sense of gender.
They can be everything and therefore nothing. I'm kidding.
I know. Their appearance is intended to be quite feminine despite the facial hair. Non-binary people don't owe androgyny. However, I did still feel I needed to convey their fluidity somehow, and this is just a natural extension of their original appearance.
I will say it does complete the look.
2 years have passed. The last of the player's allies is Looker. I think some people can tell what I did. There's a fan theory, or I guess just a fan observation, that Looker has a similar appearance to the 10th Doctor from Doctor Who. He's actually more likely based on Detective Zenigata from Lupin III, as he has a lot more similarities. And the manga series is very popular in Japan, unlike Doctor Who, but Doctor Who's popular in Scotland, where Croneo is based on. And it has time travel as a focal point, which fits as Croneo's legendaries have time as a theme. David Tennant, the actor who portrayed the 10th Doctor, is Scottish too, so I just leaned into this sort
So
of
you made him look more like Tennant.
So Looker's redesign leans into the design of the 14th Doctor, also played by David
Oh,
Tennant,
so that's why he looks like that. Okay, that makes. I'm just sitting up and listening to the explanation.
Older than when we last saw him, that made sense to me. I also liked the parallel of a sort of legacy version of a character who debuted around 2006, returning one final time before retirement, or at least that was the idea, anyways. But Looker isn't one-to-one with the 10th Doctor. He's more one-to-one with Zenigata, but still. As a result,
hey, it worked out. It's a fun
isn't
little
one-to-one
reference.
with the
Nothing
14th
wrong there.
Doctor either. The blue coat also references his coat in Pokemon Masters EX.
Oh, I didn't know he had a new design in that. Okay,
Yes,
that one was completely new to me. So the more you know.
The 14th Doctor, but the tie is orange as a further nod to Krogunk. I just think this is really
Fun.
cool, thematic, and a well-executed redesign. Time for the reason
I think
Looker
it
is
looks
here. Like
funky,
most
but I
appearances,
can
he
get
is
down with it. We're
investigating
giving all the
team,
explosions
which in
and
this
stuff.
case is Team Syndicate. Now, I'm not going to go into the logo design or general concept, but check out my Team Syndicate video if you want to see that. The designs of the grunts are essentially fancy and disciplined versions of the Team Sparkle grunts. This is kinda a reference to how the Neo Team Plasma grunts were redesigns of the old Team Plasma grunts.
We
Since
turned
this
them
team
into
is in the
pirates
same
because
region,
pirates
it
are
made sense
fun.
for the sort of displaced members of Team Sparkle
From
to
knights in
the
shining
Misfits.
armor to
As for the
pirates.
admin,
Shut
that was
up.
an overall
It's
design
Pokemon.
theme. If you never got it until now, don't worry, it was intentionally subtle. Remember that Willy Wonka experience?
Oh,
you know,
God,
the
I
one
heard
with AI
nightmares
marketing
about
depicting
that.
something more magical than the empty meth lab looking warehouse filled with people who were dumb
It did
with
look
life
like a
as well
meth
as the
lab.
unknown, whatever that was.
What is that? It's the unknown.
Yeah, it happened in Glasgow, in Scotland. It was a
Oh,
popular meme
what are the odds of that happening?
which unfortunately coincided with my plans to wrap up Croneo.
Looks like
as
Dead
I was
Me
pretty
World.
much done with everything else, including that contest, so that there was no room for people to actually submit it. But I hadn't yet gotten these admins done, who I was planning to include anyways, so I decided to base the female ones on the two Oompa Loompas, who were also played by women. Barkley and Alexi were based on the two Willy Wonka actors, as they were the head honchos anyway. Faber was based on the unknown, because I just thought that was funny, and Mirror B is, the unknown's mirror. I mean, I guess his hair's quite
Look, Mirror B's
There
design
were
was
only
already
5
perfect.
cast
It's
members,
kind
but
of
it
hard
was
to
funnier
peak
have Mirror B
perfection.
be the odd one out.
It's like Amber Mammoth's
Also,
voice
I
in
wanted a
GX. You
variety
can't
of
top
different
perfection.
characters in the series. Having two spin-off characters I felt would emphasize the scale even more. I picked someone from Go Rocket and someone from Ore more generally, as they were the only games not part of the main series that display a region of origin. As for the
I think
two
that's
main
fun. It
series
really
candidates,
does make things
Team
more
Rocket
like,
really
oh,
felt like an
everyone
Sierra.
is
Because I
here.
had 6 main Team Syndicate members in total, I felt like I couldn't have Magma without Aqua, but at the same time I didn't really want to address the rivalry between the teams in this narrative. Not out of laziness, but I feel like that would have actually pulled away from the story.
Yeah, plus that
As
would
for
make
Team
it feel a little
Plasma,
too much like a
that's
Rainbow
whole
Rocket
can of worms
knockoff.
I don't really want to open, at least not in this story. And Macrocosmos is just a business that is still going, and their ex-employees can't really be twisted into Syndicate members.
Yeah,
That
you
just felt
you
like a
took
bit
what
of a
could
stretch.
work
And in
reasonably
case it needs
without
to be
too
said,
much
no,
work
Team Skull,
and just
Team
threw them
Yell,
in there.
and
It works.
Team Star are social outcasts, not career criminals.
No.
It makes no sense for anyone from those teams to enter Team Syndicate.
Yeah, Team Skull are a bunch
That
of
just left
morons.
Team Galactic,
They wouldn't
Team
fit.
Flare, and the Aether Foundation. The latter isn't inherently evil, but does have potential since they were involved in an evil scheme. So logically, some of their employees may have wanted to jump ship.
And
Hence
sometimes
Faber,
you forget
since
how
it
many
felt
evil
somewhat
teams
character
there
for
are
them to
until
do
they
so.
start
When I was
spelling
planning
them
this,
out, you
EXP
know?
felt too recent, so that left Team Flare, which made the timing a bit awkward considering
Because
I
Legends
CCA.
EA got
Team
announced.
Flare's admins were literally a nameless trainer class. So as much as it would have been fun to have a character that looked a bit like Pitbull, the scientists were really my only option when it came to characters.
Hey, you work with what you got, and funnily enough, ZA brought him back, so hey, it works.
Inspired by one of the Oompa Loompas. Something I mentioned in the Team Syndicate video is that she was partly chosen because her hair fit well. Celosia was also considered for this reason, but Mabel won out because she actually had a personality to work with.
And the looks are more fun to draw.
I couldn't really separate Celosia from Bryony, so Mabel just seemed like the obvious pick. She also would likely have a tantrum over Team Flare losing, so would have the motivation to join Team Syndicate. She studies the crystals at the Peninsula.
You work with what you got, even if what you got is very little.
This would be something needed to understand Gemporum, but also works since Megastones are somewhat similar. And Team Flare has a history of looking into the essence of a box legend. This role in the team allowed her design to have a focus, that vial with the crystals. Her team is just the Pokemon she used in X and Y with
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Picks. Considering
Gemporum
is from Ultra Space, Faber was a natural fit. His dark lab coat was appropriate as he's now working for a shadier organization.
Makes sense to me.
Color scheme. It also fits the black costume for the aforementioned.
I like how his Rotom computer is also white.
Representing the silver mask. His unknown, the Pokemon, was a reference to this, and the rest of his team were a mix of returning and new picks.
So that was the
reference. He's using a Rotom laptop to research the Ultra wormholes, which he does in the way that those who didn't grow up with technology tend to do, one key at a time. This Rotom is grey to reference PCs and Galar. Sierra's design doesn't have much to talk about either. She loosely takes inspiration from the other Oompa Loompa, and her Team Syndicate logo is in a hairpin. If you're wondering how she's able to be here when she's from a different world, I'm using the logic of transferable to main series equals set in the same world. Perhaps
I'd allow it anyway. It's a fan region. Have a little fun.
Headcanon that you may be experiencing. I wanted to have Sierra use some Pokemon she's known for, as well as adding some new ones as well. She's also very much known for using a Houndoom, but considering Mabel didn't have many
an evil leader who uses Houndoom. Color me surprised. Houndoom is an awesome design for Pokemon, though, so I'm not mad.
It was still important to have Houndoom on.
Heck, it's an awesome design in general, not just for a Pokemon.
She hasn't used, I just felt like was a good fit for her personality. Speaking of, her tough personality in Go is why she trains up new recruits in Orpiment. Mirror B, what do I need to say? His design is
perfect. Next
design, but more bedazzled with diamonds, since he would entirely lean into this aesthetic. He wears lipstick because it looks like he did in Colosseum. His shoes are high.
It does kind of look like that, yeah.
Side even more. Also, his hair is now a beast ball, since Gemporum is an Ultra Beast, and it's an easier ball than most to make resemble a disco ball.
It does look like a disco ball.
Finally, the Croneo couple. Yes, it's canon. So many people asked, and I buckled under pressure. Barkley was given a top hat
because it works so well for Ruby,
and just had a fancy waistcoat with a black lab coat.
Hey, I'm fine with them be going that way. Why not?
In all honesty, his redesign is just an inverse of his old one. The artist did want to give
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Design a connection to Heather's. Heather being his daughter who hates him. Her design was done first, and I'll get to it in a bit. He decided to make Barkley's footwear evoke a similar sort of
thanks to the redesign. I completely forgot what she looked like. My brain just like, oh, it's a new character now.
The one without facial.
Looks good in the redesign though, even without it. Just like, wow, he looks like a completely different person. In a way, that's kind of a compliment.
He's got baggy and wavy clothing, which emphasizes his flamboyance. He's also got an arrogance, and he's got a spiky grin. His personality really shines through. His team is slightly different from Agate and Obsidian, since Billy didn't fit and is on Fig's team now. Grimmsnarl was added because it's a meaner fairy type, and Galarian Rapidash, the native form of it in Croneo, is also a fairy type and psychic type, referencing his relationship with Barkley, as well as the unicorn being Scotland's national animal, which is
probably
why
a bit of a reference to the original team too.
Onto the gym leaders now, and let's start with Heather. I decided to make her a gym leader because she wanted to follow in the footsteps of her friends Brooke and Douglas, who were a gym leader and wannabe gym leader, respectively. They're part of the Elite Four now because they're strong. I decided Heather was going to be a dragon-type gym leader, initially because it was the last type that didn't have.
It was the only one left.
But she already had the dragon-type Draconion on her rival team, which is now her ace. And also a dragon-type punk was a cool idea to me. She also appears
it does sound like a cool idea for Pokemon, yeah.
Pokemon trainer. She has new piercings as a result, along with a new green streak in her hair to match her Draconion-themed design. And she's got
it all works out
because dragons tend to have spikes themselves, along with sharp teeth and claws. It also is quite punky. The remaining type specialists I wanted to base loosely on real people. Icons who I wasn't able to represent through Fakemon. The Steel Gym Leader is the least subtle. Fergus is based on Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, look, everyone got that one, but it's okay that we have an easy one every once in a while.
I'm referencing oxidized copper. along with the steel type in general. Fergus is a Scottish name, and the first 2 letters are how iron is represented on the periodic table. A steel type chef makes sense, because
then he can go and help Bill and Ben inside the quarry.
His team was curated to have as many food-related steel types as possible.
Make sure you do it right.
Ace being the steel type Rotom saw, because it was the only contest winner that didn't get a Titan. But at least it fits Fergus's type specialty. His apron has a Pokeball logo altered to look like a frying pan with food. Meanwhile, Hayley, whose name contains Hale, is based on Scottish singer Annie Lennox. She's originally from the city of Aberdeen and was part of Eurythmics. Their most famous song is Sweet Dreams. Hayley's design takes from
Never
the
heard it,
suit
but that might just be
and
me.
of Lennox in that music video. Although Hayley's suit is a cyan colour because of the ice type. The bright orange hair made a nice contrast to the suit. Her bright red lipstick also did this too. Her ace is Slumboos because it is an ice type themed around sleep. I wonder if Slumboos's sweet dreams are made of this, but who am I to disagree? The brand new Elite Four trainer is Mackenzie, specialising in the fighting type. Mackenzie's inspiration is the most loose, as I doubt famed Scottish poet Robert Burns was an any pronouns user. Mackenzie owned this because I didn't know what pronouns
best not to go through that can of
even
worms.
after the design was finished. Sure,
not even a can of worms, just that there wasn't much of a thing back then. What worms? What am I saying?
Diversity in the Elite Four. Ultimately, literally everyone I asked about this responded by going with why not any pronouns. I was scared that people
all of the pronouns.
To see, but I think the design is extremely
oh no, I might piss off people on the internet. This is the internet, honey. Everyone's gonna get pissed off anyway. That's their default state. The internet is always angry and or horny.
Was a fresh take, especially slam poetry being a thing, as well as the
sometimes
phrase,
bored.
"Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me," which is used to try and convince you not to be hurt by hurtful words. Words can be hurtful though. Not that any real harm is intended by our friend Mackenzie, even though their name contains Ken, a Japanese word for fist, which is also the pronunciation of a Japanese word for sword. But he has a hammer. Because just a poet in warm colours didn't necessarily
the words can't hurt you, but my mallets can.
Now, I loved how the final post-game boss in Johto is red, and when Black 2 White 2 came out, I was hoping for something similar. Alas, the original protag is missing. Even their mother hasn't seen them for 2 years. Seriously, where are they? My personal headcanon is that they're dead. I thought within 2 years...
Getsus went too far.
Have really defeated Andy or Sophie or Sammy, hence why they are the champion. Only one of them is, and it's randomized which one you get. And what customization options they have is also randomized. Unless you connect to a completed save file, then they have the same skin, hair, and eyes you gave them. The outfit will always remain the same though. They deserve a get-up fit for a champion after all. Traditional Scottish clothing, including a kilt, was necessary, and I felt the blue face paint reference in Celtic Warriors also made for a good addition to the look. While I'm here, I might as well mention that I wanted to add different skin tones, as the key art from the Moonagate and Obsidian originally didn't. I didn't think I needed to, as I thought when I said they were fully customizable, that would imply they were, but some
you would be surprised by the internet and its stupidity sometimes.
One last thing is that they are wearing a ring. Just like Heather. No, they're not engaged. They're a little too young for that. But they're dating, they're wearing friendship rings, and yes, they're dating regardless of gender. It would make sense, as they got close during the events of Agate and Obsidian.
I'm down with that, nothing wrong there.
Natural representation like this made me really happy. Time to explain.
Hey, there's engagement rings in real life.
Or I guess
well, not engagement rings, but promise rings. Promise rings, that's it.
It's easy to explain Gemporum first.
Which kind of just like a ring for dating in a way.
I may still do, but nothing is in the works anymore. Gemporum was going to be explored there. I decided to move it here because I loved the idea. The lore written since the Legendaries video I released around 2 years ago was written with Gemporum in mind. So earlier this year, I got its art done to match its description, since the ancient Pokemon of time is just meant to be Origin Dialga. This meant obviously I made Gemporum match the vibe. It was also made of time crystals as seen on the timeline trio. Since Orpith was coloured differently to the other two, to try and resemble the mineral of Orpiment, said other two's crystals provided the colour. I explained that the golden colour was due to impurities, which is referenced in Gemporum's shiny.
Kind of like Necrozma
features are made to resemble the timeline trio, which was the art.
Not calling it a rip-off, I'm just saying it reminds me of that.
Also, it doesn't have an eye, but just some shapes evoking eyes, since it is technically an Ultra Beast.
It has no eyes, and it must see.
The rest of them. Some may wonder if it's the Trio Master, but it's not. This fulfills the role of the villain legendary, kinda like Kyurem, but definitely like Necrozma or Eternatus. Gemporum overall
this is not Lugia.
Time crystals,
safe to say.
which are objects that don't just have a repeating structure like a crystal does, but also periodically repeats any changes to its structure. These were discovered thanks to the science of quantum physics, hence the name. It is a being made of literal crystals, hence gem, but also temporal due to it being a time elemental too, and quantum due to quantum physics. It also sounds grander ending with that sound. Gemporum! Pokemon's enhanced versions have had a couple instances of Pokemon Fusion. Kyurem and
Fusions are fun.
Other members of their trio.
Just you gotta make sure you use them carefully.
Despite not getting its own game,
I love Perfect Cell.
Has had its whole gimmick be formed around different cells fusing to create other forms. I wanted in on this if I was going to do this project. I mentioned earlier that Kyurem and Necrozma are the villain legendaries, but they are also the third member of their trios. Since those are different in Croneo, and the fact that I wanted this to be one version anyway,
I merged them together and then they kiss.
One another. Move over, you two. You've already had your stories. Hanging on the edge of your seat to find out about that other reason I refuse to say as to why Orpith was normal flying? It's because it was always going to change types upon fusion.
You planned this out ahead of time. Well done.
Its very soul and being, hence the name of the form, it becomes a griffin-like being. This is because
of
the different body types lending themselves well to this idea. A fusion would also naturally make the body more crystalline than it already was. So changing normal to rock made sense for that reason. People wanted Orpith to be a rock type anyways, because they ignored my reasons in the original video, but still, it's a rock type now.
Deal with it.
When Gemporum leaves its body, the crystals are now purified. I kinda always had the idea that it could be related to phoenixes as it gets reborn. There's smoke in its design to thematically parallel this. And
I like that.
rituals use smoke
its reborn
as well.
design is
Not
amazing.
that I needed to explain why a golden eagle, the Scottish national bird, is Scottish. Orpith crystals are now purple, like the others in its trio. The original always kinda looked out of place, but now it doesn't really. This is also helped by its now grey body, the in-between of the black and white of Mebicordian and Priturate respectively. It also inherits Gemporum's dragon typing, to signify that it's in its ultimate form. Also, dragons are associated with smoke too, so it works out.
It does work out, yeah.
The final Croneo video, excluding marathons of course, will be the recap of every single Croneomon to cap off the series. It's been a journey. Special thanks to all the artists. It's been quite the journey indeed, but it's been a fun one.
Oh, that's okay, yeah. Anyway, yeah, go check out Dr. Eevee's channel, check out the series in your own time, not to mention the other videos they make, of course. It's more than just the Pokemon Croneo region, so, yeah. Overall, though, solid region with solid Pokemon designs and solid characters the entire way through. May have been some bumps along the ride, but hey, what ride is 100% perfect, smooth the entire way through? Not a ride that, well, no, I shouldn't say go down that far. It'd be like, not one worth riding on, but no, there, you know, sometimes a nice road is nice every once in a while. But anyway, kind of topic. But yeah, overall, solid to go through, and I like how well planned ahead Dr. Eevee got with all this stuff and really thought out the story from the beginning and really went forward from there. It is nice just to hear be like, oh, I planned out the beginning and the end well. Middle, there was a little bit of working out, but honestly, it's probably for the best the middle needs a little bit of work when you already have the ending planned out. I'd rather the middle be that was a little weird, than the ending being like, well, that was fun. Where are we going? We'll figure it out when we get there. They did not figure it out when they got there. We've all seen those shows, read those books, so on and so forth. Just be like, how's this gonna end? We'll figure it out along with you. Look, sometimes it works. Sometimes it does legitimately work. Not all the time. It is not work all the time. Sometimes you luck out, sometimes you fail. But whatever, it is what it is. At least it didn't cliffhanger. Hey, the worst is when they cliffhanger you. What's worse, a bad ending of the show or no ending of the show? Just like, go and check out next season. What do you mean we're not getting a next season? Well, funk. Oy, oy, oy. Well, how depressing is that? Too depressing to even go into. But overall, yeah, solid stuff, and it's nice to see the designs come full circle and how the characters evolved with time and got and moved up, I guess, in the old way. I did like facing off against the rival, your trainer again, and maybe the rematch. Trainer Red Wants to Battle is still iconic for a reason. It's a shame they didn't keep doing that in future games, but I mean, I get why they didn't, but it's also like, man, missed opportunity. Well, what are you gonna do? At least they kind of let you do it in Black and White when they had the PWC things where you could face Pokemon World Championships, where you could face up against other regions and stuff like that. That was pretty fun and probably the closest we're ever going to get. And I guess we'll see if that happens again in another thing. Maybe with Pokemon Champions or something. I think that's just a bunch of like over 3D battle stuff. I don't know much about Pokemon Champions. I didn't buy it, but maybe. I don't know. Hey, you can't say 100% no to anything. Who knows? Maybe Gen 10 will have it. Time will tell that tale, I guess. But yeah, that's the end of the Croneo region, and Dr. Eevee and all the commissioned artists did a very good job bringing it all together. Money well spent in making it all look stupendous. I mean, that's superfluous. Superfluous isn't a word. But yeah, making it all work out and come together in one big, great way, and made it all seem like, well, a fun region that would be nice to explore and see how it all comes together, I guess. You know, the best part of Pokemon stories is when you're just going along with them trying to find everything, and now we found everything or something, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I still gotta make my team, but I guess that video will come in the future. For right now, I guess I'll just say thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, see all of you in the future. Until then, later.